You are more than welcome to join Coins Alert if you want to. On the whole, though, it looks like the market will bounce back. XRP is on my mind. I want to see if we can close above some important levels that we've been talking about all week. So there's no doubt that tonight's midnight video will give you some background on that. But I only want to talk about the market growth in this video, right? Cryptocurrency's market value did reach $4 trillion not long ago. It actually reached $4.2 trillion on the 13th. Do you think this is a lot of money? $4, $2 trillion. Guys, if we go all the way back to 2022, we were less than $1 trillion. We had $798 billion on January 1st, 2023. After that, we went over $4.2 trillion. It may sound crazy, but guess what? Just remember that this is the beginning. I do think crypto will reach $10 trillion or more. This year, it might not happen. We will be an asset class worth more than $10 trillion, though it might not happen next year. Even so, that's still a pretty big deal for crypto since we want more than $100 trillion worth of assets to move on chain. There are some very big areas that we want to reach. The DTCC handles more than $3 quadrillion every year, and they are looking into making tokens. Once more, this is one of the biggest changes ever. Everything around us is going to change. I keep saying this because I think most people don't understand how great of a chance we have. Wait a little while longer. XRP, once more, XRP looks very good today, as you can see. Guys, if you look at the all-time picture for XRP, you can see that it has grown a lot. We're still up 404% or more in the last year. Again, this is amazing to see. It looks like we are also starting to get out of this flag shape on XRP. A lot of attention has been paid to that. Oh, to say it again, I still believe that XRP has a huge amount of upside left in this cycle. Of course, by the end of the year, the value of many of these old coins like XRP will be much higher. I also believe that XRP might be getting close to $10 by the end of the year. And the markets could still get hot in January and February, just like they did in 2017 and 2018. That's when XRP hit its all-time high. I know this is December 31st, but that's when it ended at its highest point. About the 7th of January 2018. I think XRP will become very unpredictable towards the end of the year, when we could see some pretty big spikes, so we could still pump until January. But that's why we're so interested in how this market is changing based on what some big names are telling us and what's happening with the acceptance of crypto. We'll talk about that now. However, I need to first talk about a very important problem that has to do with crypto. This showed up on my feed earlier today. It's another terrible case of scammers getting into someone's wallet. The NFTs were all bought and sold. They sent everything to Qcoin. This is an important matter. Because of this, I keep telling everyone in this room not to sign contracts. Don't connect your wallet to every strange thing you see, like an airdrop or free crypto. This is the point where your money might start to run out. This is another reason I joined forces with I Trust Capital. The Capital platform, both for their IRA platform and their private custody account, is one of the best ones out there. Guys, if you use my link to sign up for I Trust Capital and pay $1,000, they will give you an extra $100 as a bonus. The main thing I'm interested in here, though, is their premium care account. You need a closed-loop system with great security like the ones used by these big-name institutions. This is where you could use that. You don't have to worry about having your crypto or NFTs taken or anything like that. I don't think they've linked NFTs to this site yet. I believe this is mostly just crypto. The most important thing is that if you're going to hold your cryptocurrency, especially if it's a big amount, you should do it with a premium player like I Trust Capital that has US-based company help that you can use. The platform is open 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. There are no fees to buy or sell crypto 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. This is the best way to store your crypto. Even better than cold storage, because you want to make sure that things are locked away because you never know where the space will go. Things are locked up. Your crypto is safe. The rate of usage is already very high, so you can't afford to lose your crypto right now. With rules being announced. This is the best place to connect with others. So if you want to join in, there will be a link in the text and the comments below. And I really hope that no one else has to go through this, because what Tori is going through is terrible. In other words, if you guys really want to lock in, I believe the capital down in the text below and the comments. Let's talk about some things now. We just got some big news from Eleanor Tourette. So new that the Senate Banking Committee's most recent market structure draft takes into account what stakeholders and lobbyists have said. This is about a few things now. First, there is Section 101 on ancillary assets. This section aims to make the law clearer by leaving out assets that are obviously securities and making it clear that staking and airdrops are not securities. It also says that SEC enforcement actions and private lawsuits can't be brought against tokens that were issued before the date of enactment as long as they aren't fake. The second one is DPIN Section 504, which is a new rule that exempts decentralized physical infrastructure networks from securities laws. Finally, to protect software writers, there is self-custody protection. Section 506, DeFi Exemption 501, and Section 505 of the Blockchain Regulatory Certainty Act. All of these are kept in this new form. This is also about how the SEC and CFTC work together. It is very important to pay attention to this because these days the SEC and the CFTC are working together on a committee to help them make choices about digital assets and settle any disagreements. It's been a while since you last watched the station, so let's go back to around 2022 or 2023. We've talked about this before. We've been guessing for a while that these two groups would work together. Since the SEC and the CFTC have both been in charge of policing certain markets for a long time. But if they work together, they can give the digital asset area the full clarity it needs. This joint advisory group is a way for them to do just that. I really like this because it means that we are getting clear on the place. This will then allow a lot more to happen. We've also heard this from a lot of well-known people in this field, which is something we'll talk about. Which is why it's so important to have these rules in place now. Let's talk about a few things. That is adoption. We know this because Raoul Pal just wrote a post about how to use crypto. Crypto is still being used twice as quickly on the internet, where there are 5 million IP addresses than wallets. Very much the same. That's what this picture shows us. This is the yearly growth of crypto users compared to internet users. We can see that year 1 equals people. And this is where we can see that the 5 million mark is being aimed for. That's more than 5 million people. We could also see with, do you know how crypto stacks up against people who use the internet? By the 9th year we are well ahead of it. We have more than 442 million more people than the internet. In this case we can see how quickly crypto is changing and becoming popular. What do you think will cause this growth to speed up next? Rules and laws. This is where the crypto space might start to really blow up in a big way. And this one, and it will reach 4 billion by 2030. In fact, there will be 4 billion crypto users by 2030. That list of stats is crazy. One big use case is all it takes. This could be a safe way to use coins. Could say play games. Anything could be it, but I think it will be payment. I think it will be payment 100%. I believe that payments will change the crypto world. It's really starting to grow into new areas in my opinion. At this point, banks are looking into safe coins and ways to pay with crypto. So once more, that could be the main reason for this. But we already have one. That will raise its market value from $4 trillion today to $100 trillion by 2032 or 2034, which is also known as the floodgates opening for crypto. And that is because of two long-term trends: acceptance and debasement. Adoption explains all of our success compared to debasement, while debasement only explains 90% of price changes. We can see the total liquidity measure for Bitcoin right here. He's just showing us how the total liquidity index and Bitcoin are kind of lining up exactly. We will keep seeing this line up. In fact, that will make Bitcoin